Hey there, Alfred here. We have another build we're calling the Relentless Nightmare. The genesis of this build came from the question, what would be a really annoying tank build to fight against? Imagine an opponent that no matter how much you attack it, no matter how much pain you throw at it, it just keeps on coming, like a relentless Terminator. What's worse, you get damage just by attacking it. It's not invincible, it bleeds, and you can see it can get visibly hurt. But no matter what you do, it gets up and it will continue to go towards you. It just won't die. It's like this scene from the movie V for Vendetta.
Die! Die! Why won't you die?
That's what this build is about. It's built around having massive health regeneration and massive Thorns damage, making it a relentless nightmare. Alright, let's get to the details of the build. First, just a bit of a disclaimer. This is not a build that will get you mind-blowing damage numbers. In fact, you will rarely get your damage dealt above 500. Also, this is not an immortal build where you cannot die. You actually need to be engaged in terms of playstyle for this build to work. In short, this build will make a lot of things easy for you, but you still need to pay attention to what's going on in the game. Alright, let's check out our gear here. Starting with the weapon, we have the Singing Peel, a one-handed hammer that scales with strength and faith. However, this build is not dependent on this particular weapon. You can switch these to other one-handed weapons that you like. For the runes, I changed them to these four: Throw, Tornado Strike, Crushing Flurry, and Leap. Same with the weapon, these are not mandatory. You can switch these to other runes you prefer. I chose these runes because they give a variety of attack options. Throw gives you a range attack option. Tornado Strike is a fast, low-cost multi-hit attack rune. Leap is a great gap closer. And Crushing Flurry is great for destroying enemy poise. On the facet, we have Indestructible, which nullifies the unrepairable downside down there on the enchantments. I put in the Mottled Spike to increase physical damage by 10%. We further increase our damage against large enemies by 30%. This means we deal extra damage to most bosses and those annoying large high health monsters. We increase our critical hit chance. Then we have Gain Focus on Kill and Gain Health on Kill. You can switch these two to Gain Focus on Fatality and Gain Health on Fatality, as we do have decent focus gain with this build. Basically, it just boils down to how you want to finish off enemies. On Fatality means you finish off enemies using your rune attacks. On Kill, you use your basic attacks, or in this case your Retribution damage. You get to do both often with this build, so on Kill or on Fatality, they both work, whichever you prefer. Moving on to the shield, we have the Heraldic Crest, a great shield that scales with strength and faith. Now, if you change the weapon to something that does not scale with strength and faith, then you need to change the shield as well. You will need a shield that scales to the same stat of your chosen weapon. Currently, there's no great shield that scales with intelligence or dexterity. They do have medium shields and you can use those. You just have a tad bit less damage reduction. In terms of the facet, I chose Meditative. This increases our focus gain, but reduces our poise. On the gem, we increase our elemental resistance. For the enchantments, Gain Thorns is a must, since this is one of the primary mechanics we're building around on. Gain Focus and Gain Stamina on block are recommended, as we will be using blocks a lot. I'll explain why once we get to the playstyle portion. Next, we have the Plate Helmet. We are using all plate armor for this build. Currently, I'm using the Bane armor set, but you can switch that out to other plate armor sets that you like. We have the Indestructible Facet, which will nullify Unrepairable. For the gem, we have the Mottled Skull, which gives 15 health regeneration. And then on the enchantments, we have Thorns. Health regeneration and Thorns are the primary mechanics that we are building around on. You will see this in all the armor pieces we have for this build. Now we have focus gain increased by 15%, which will help with casting rune attacks more often. Healing increased by 30% at low focus, This enchant might not be active all the time, but still useful, especially on pestilence areas that has focus-based modifiers. Then for additional toughness, physical damage resistance increased. Onto the plate armor, we have durable in the facet, which increases our durability but lessens our focus gain. We added even more durability with this enchant. Durability increased by 75. We need those increases in durability to enhance this particular enchantment. Damage resistance increased based on durability. Then we have more health regeneration with the Mottled Skull Gem and this gain health regeneration enchantment. Of course, we have Thorns damage. On the downside, we have stagger resistance reduced by 27%. This means we get staggered sometimes, but that's okay. With our toughness and our health regeneration, we will always get back up. On the plate pants, we have Frantic on the facet. This increases our move speed but lessens our stamina regen. The stamina regen reduction does not matter too much with this build, as we have gained stamina on block on our shield. We have more health regeneration and Thorns damage. Then to help with our offense, we have critical chance increased and physical damage increased. On the downside, we have heavy roll only, which really isn't a detriment to this build, since we are operating on the heavy weight class. On the gloves, we have the durable facet, and we increase the durability even more. We need those increases in durability to enhance this particular enchantment. Healing increased by current durability. This improvement on our healing rate means our health regeneration is enhanced as well. Same with the other armor pieces, we have more health regeneration and more Thorns damage. Then we increase our physical damage resistance even more. On the downside, parry disabled. This is not in any way an actual downside to this build, as we won't need to parry. With this build, we like to get hit. We will take whatever the enemy will throw at us head on. It's what makes this build a nightmare to fight against. For the rings, we have the Band of Calmness for more focus gain, increased max focus. We have the Serendipity ring to increase our healing rate even more. And since we'll be taking a lot of damage, we have the Fierce ring, which boosts our damage dealt for 10 seconds after taking some damage. For the stats, I put in 45 on health for 400 hit points, 15 on stamina for 70 stamina points, 26 on strength and 26 on faith to scale our weapon damage. If you chose a weapon that scales with a different attribute, then you need to allocate the points there instead. Then 25 here in equip load, which is just enough to not be encumbered. Moving on to the playstyle, the playstyle is nothing too complex. Primarily, we don't dodge or parry, we block the attacks coming our way. Enemies suffer the same amount of Thorns damage whether we're blocking or not. This is when we're not blocking. This is when we are blocking. As you might have noticed, the return damage is the same on both. The only difference is we take less damage while blocking. Also, blocking fills our focus and stamina, as we have the enchantments gain stamina on block and gain focus on block on our shield. In terms of offense, during the gaps between enemy attacks, we can use our basic attacks to gain more focus or unleash rune attacks. Basically, the playstyle loop is we block and build up our focus, then attack when we have a clean opportunity. That's it for the build. To check out what the build can do, next is a no echo battle against the Echo Knight. That's it. I hope you enjoyed watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!